In this video, we're going to be covering the pros and the cons of Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Discover Charlotte, where we help you do just that. But if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified when we post a new video and you can continue to learn like a local. My name is Brandy Reinschmidt. I'm a local realtor here, and my team and myself get calls, emails, text messages every day from people just like you looking to make a move to Charlotte, North Carolina. So whether that's you, whether it's in 90 days or 9 days, reach out to us, give us a call, send us that text message. We'd love to connect and help make your move just a little bit easier. In this video, we're gonna cover all things Charlotte, good and bad. So if you're considering relocating to Charlotte, North Carolina, you'll have all the information you need to help make the best decision for you and your family. Let's get into it. But first, coffee. Okay, so we're gonna start off on a positive note. The biggest positive that, in my opinion, most people first find when they look at moving to Charlotte is its economy, specifically its job market. Charlotte has a strong and growing job market. It is home to over 20 Fortune 1000 companies. We have major headquarters here such as Bank of America, BB&T, Wells Fargo, American Airlines, Honeywell, Red Ventures, Lowe's. The list goes on, and that's just a portion of it. Our leading job industries here are tech, finances, and health. So, in the finance world, you've got Bank of America, you've got things like LendingTree, you've got Wells Fargo. If you want to go over to the health, we have two major companies here. We have Atrium and Novant Health. They're actually the leading employers here in Charlotte at the time this video is being made. But you've got other headquarters like Lowe's in the construction and retail industry. You have Honeywell, again, another construction firm. So we have a lot of large companies that are not only here, but we have companies moving here every day that are employing thousands of people in Charlotte, North Carolina. Right now, our unemployment rate is at 4%, which is lower than the average unemployment rate, which is at 5.25. So we are stronger. We have a great economy here. So our job market is definitely a pro number one. So this next one, I'm gonna leave it up to you to decide whether it's gonna go in the pro or con list. For me personally, it is going to go over in the pros, and I think for the majority of people, they would probably agree with it too. The weather in Charlotte. We get all 4 seasons here. Our miles are super winter. We probably get, on average, 3 days of snow, and when I say snow, it's like an inch or 2 inches. It falls, it hangs around for a day or two, and then it melts and goes away. I will say, because Charlotte does not have the salt trucks and the support that it needs to kind of maintain a large snowfall or any really severe harsh weather, the second that you get a severe weather warning like snow or a really bad storm, the city shuts down. It is the weirdest thing. I remember when I first moved to Charlotte and they were having like a tropical storm warning. Basically, we were gonna get the tail end of a storm that was coming from south. The entire city shut down. Like, what are you guys doing? Why is the entire city shutting down? And something I also realized that if you Google it, you hear a few different answers, and I've never really understood why. If there is a severe storm and Charlotteans know the stores are gonna shut down, you run to the store and for some reason, milk and bread is sold out every single time. I don't know it, I don't get the logic behind it. If you lose power, your milk is gonna go bad. Bread makes sense, make a sandwich, I get that. Anyways, just an interesting fact. So the weather here in Charlotte, you get all 4 seasons. Your winters are very, very mild compared to other states. Your summers, this is where it might fall into the con list for you. If you don't like hot summers and you don't like humidity, you're not gonna enjoy the summers here in Charlotte. Summers in Charlotte do get hot and humid, even sometimes hotter and more humid than Florida. So it lasts a short time, and then you know that you have the fall to look forward to, but just know that if you don't like heat and you don't like humidity, the summers here are going to be hard for you. So With that being said, tying it into the weather, another pro is there's always something to do here in Charlotte. I know on a couple different blogs, if you look them up, it'll say like Charlotte can be boring to live in. I disagree. Charlotte always has something to do. If you want to enjoy the weather and spend all day outdoors, or if you just like to enjoy outdoor hobbies, Charlotte is perfect for you. You'll find all around the city, there are bike lanes on a lot of our main roads here. We have greenways that tie all throughout Charlotte where you can hop on a bike or go walking or rollerblading. Our biggest greenway here is a little Sugar Creek Greenway. They're actually currently doing some renovations to different areas of that to make it more accessible and make it wider in some areas. And it's really cool because it's kind of a private path. Some of them will take you through neighborhoods, some will take you like under bridges. So you're literally walking through the city and you get different views at different parts of the greenway. So it's really kind of cool. If you want something a little bit more adventurous, you have Crowder's Mountain and Grandfather's Mountain just an hour and a half away, so you can go hiking. If you want something a little bit closer, hop over to the Whitewater Center. This is super unique to Charlotte. Whitewater Center is really, really cool. Be sure to check it out. I'll do another video on it at some time. But it is a man-made facility. It was originally created for the U.S. Olympic whitewater team to come do their training. And it has since turned into an attraction for locals here that you can go do ropes courses, zip lining, rock climbing. They have mountain biking, they have walking trails. They've got flat water in the back so you can go paddleboarding or kayaking. But then of course you also have the whitewater rapids in the middle. There's restaurants on there. So that really is a really cool way to spend your entire day outdoors if you want. So you've got a ton, you've got Greenway, and Close Springs Greenway is what it's called. That's down in South Carolina, right over the border of Charlotte. It's about a 25-minute drive, but it's a huge nature preserve. It's like 3 times the size of Central Park. So you can buy a membership there. You can also buy a day pass. Again, go fishing, kayaking, hiking, biking, you name it, it's there to do. So Charlotte has a ton of public parks such as Freedom Park, Lotta Preserve. You've got Reedy Creek Park in northern Charlotte. It's just all around, there's a ton of outdoor activities to do. If you don't like the outdoors, you like a little bit more urban of a lifestyle, you can pop over to South End where it's all connected by what we call the light rail here. You can walk in and out of South End. It is a very walkable area filled with breweries and restaurants and shops, great restaurants to grab lunch or dinner. So you can also spend the day outdoors that way if you just want to walk to a different couple locations. If you're not into that, that's okay. Charlotte has a ton of shopping. Head over to South Park Mall. We've got the most profitable mall in North Carolina. It's the largest mall in North Carolina. So head over to South Park if you want to go shopping, or if you want to spend the day on the lake. You have 2 lakes to choose from. You've got Lake Norman up north and you've got Lake Wylie down south. Lake Norman is better for your water sports. Lake Wylie is a little bit more quieter of a relaxed lake. If you want to spend your day antiquing, head over to a town such as Kannapolis or Concord, or even Mooresville, where Mooresville has one of the largest antique shops. So I really do mean Charlotte has something for everyone. We have concerts here. Charlotte has a lot of concerts, especially during the summer months. There's always festivals going on. So for about 4 to 5 months out of the year, there is something called Front Porch Sundays. It's one of the larger pop-up markets. We have a farmer's market here that happens every Saturday and Sunday. I mean, the list just goes on. So you might hear and you might see a lot of people say like, oh, Charlotte is boring to live, but I promise you, if you look for what you like doing, you will find it. I promise. Another pro is Charlotte's location. So I am originally from Florida. I moved all the way up north to Pittsburgh, and then I came halfway back. Yes, they do call us halfbacks because I guess that's a common thing for people either to start north or south, flip-flop, and then come halfway back. So with that being said, Charlotte is really, really close proximity to the beach and to the mountains. So we have Charleston, you've got Myrtle Beach, you have Hilton Head, you've got Savannah, all within a 3 to 4 hour drive. You can go a little bit further over to Wilmington and the Outer Banks of Charlotte, and those can be anywhere from a 4 to 6 hour drive depending on where you want to go. You can head up to Virginia Beach, or if you want mountains, you can head over to Tennessee, be there in about 4 hours. You can go to Banner Elk, or Boone, and that's about an hour and a half drive to 2 hours. Again, you can go north to Virginia, that's about a 4-hour drive. So no matter what direction you like, you have it here. So you've got beaches on one side, you've got mountains on the other side, and then you've got the city center right in Charlotte. Or if you want to change the scenery, you can hop in the car, go a couple hours away and go to Raleigh, our capital, for another larger city experience. And if you are looking for more of a longer trip, maybe not a weekend trip where you're driving to, Charlotte has one of the top airports in the US. We are an American airline hub. We are an international airport, so no matter where you want to go, you can have it here. What I will say is that you might find flights leaving from Charlotte to be a little bit more expensive than other airports. So that could be a con, but overall we are very fortunate to have an international airport here that you can get literally wherever you need to go. Moving on to another pro is Charlotte's cost of living. This might depend on where you're coming from and what you're used to, but for a larger city, Charlotte has just under 1 million people, and for a larger city, our cost of living is relatively lower compared to cities such as New York or San Francisco. Our tax rate here, so North Carolina has a flat income tax of 5.25 and Charlotte has no local income tax. Our property taxes, we do have a unique structure here. Our property taxes get assessed every 4 years. It used to be 8 years. They did change that not too long ago. So as you can imagine, especially with what's happened over the past couple years with COVID, prices rising, your tax rate might come to a surprise when it rolls around at that 4th year mark, but it did get better when they adjusted it from 8 to 4 years. So something interesting, another component of cost of living that might actually be seen as a negative, especially from a state that didn't have this like myself. Every year here in Charlotte, you have to pay a car tax. When you first register your car, you have to pay something, it was called a street tax or a sin tax, they called it. Which I will say, the second you cross over the North Carolina, South Carolina border, you notice the streets are always well maintained. So it is kind of nice to see your cars don't get as beat up, but you will have to pay that one-time tax when you first register your vehicle here. Every year you have to pay a car tax, and you also have to get your car inspected. You have like a safety and emissions inspection that you have to pass every year. That was something I was not familiar with, so that does add on to your expenses of owning a vehicle here in Charlotte. But compared to other states, like when I moved from Florida to Charlotte, or from Charlotte versus Florida, I noticed my car insurance did drop quite a bit. So it does balance out a little bit. So it depends on kind of where you're coming from. The cost of living, in my opinion, for a larger city is relatively low. Let's switch gears and list some of the cons. I know I've kind of mixed a few in that might differ depending on your opinion on it, but switching over to the con side, my biggest con about Charlotte is the traffic and construction. So Charlotte's infrastructure was not ready for the growth that it experienced in such a quick time, especially. So there's always road closures and detours, and then you have not only roads being worked on and extended and maintained, but then you also have residential apartment buildings going up or new communities going up, so that the cranes and the construction traffic causes those road closures, and it causes a lot of confusion in Charlotte. It does cause a lot of heavy traffic. No one ever knows where they're going here because there's always roads shut down, or the traffic patterns have changed because they've changed the roads. Even locals will tell you, or even people that have lived here for a long time will tell you that they still use their GPS to get wherever they're going. And I know that everyone always says, oh, traffic in my city is the worst. I know, I was there, I used to do that. I thought traffic in Florida was god awful. I'm here to tell you, I'm a strong believer that traffic in Charlotte is the worst. I'm gonna stand by that. We also don't have a driving style here. And what I mean by that is, in general, if you go to New Jersey, you know that New Jersey, you're gonna kind of experience a more aggressive driving pattern. In Pittsburgh, we could do what was called the Pittsburgh left. If you were at a light and you needed to turn left, you just went, you just gunned it. You didn't ask for permission, you didn't wait for the opportunity, you just went. So Charlotte doesn't have those kind of like unsaid rules that people know, or they don't have their own patterns or driving styles. So you have a mixture of driving styles here, like people from Jersey that tend to drive a little bit more aggressive, or people from Florida where our speed limits are a bit faster than what we're used to here. So you don't really have a pattern of driving that people understand. That's kind of my personal opinion on it, but I know the construction and the infrastructure here just wasn't ready to support the growth that Charlotte has experienced. It won't always be like that. At some point they will catch up, but if you move here, just know that that is going to be a temporary thing that you need to deal with. Sticking with the traffic and the transportation, a big con to Charlotte is we do not have good public transportation systems here. There is almost zero public transportation here in Charlotte. We do have the light rail, or the blue line, better yet known here. It does go from lower South End and it will take you up to North Charlotte. The stops that it makes along the way though aren't really convenient to a lot of things. So what we find here is a lot of people maybe coming from Fort Mill or Indian Land, which is down in South Carolina, might come up and drive to the southern point of the light rail and park there. They do sell passes that you can pay and park, and then take the light rail up to Uptown, and you can avoid paying the higher parking garage fees that way if your company doesn't reimburse you for them. Or most often you'll see it really busy when there's a Panthers game in town or some sporting event in town. People will park there and take the light rail. If you want to take it from South End to Uptown, there's a lot of stops from here to there that you can hop off and enjoy a restaurant or a certain part of town. Past that, it will take you into the Plaza Midwood area or NODA area, also another walkable area of Charlotte. But really past that, there's not too many stops that you're going to find yourself wanting to stop and get off at, or stops that are convenient to a neighborhood. So it is used not as much as like the train systems in Chicago or something. So that is a downfall of Charlotte. If you're looking to move here, you will need a car. Charlotte is actually one of the most car dependent cities. So just know if you're looking to relocate here, there are very few parts of the city that you're not going to need a car in. With that being said, Charlotte is not the most walkable city. I know if you look at other cities like Chicago or New York, they're considered very walkable. Charlotte is not. There are very few neighborhoods and areas such as Plaza Midwood or NODA that they have some cute little main street areas that have some restaurants and bars or coffee shops. Some will have a grocery store in them that you might walk to do your weekend shopping. Overall though, Charlotte is not a walkable city. You're not really going to be able to get your weekend errands done without a car. So that is a downfall for a larger city. I would like to see some more walkable areas. I know when we lived up north, it was really nice just to kind of walk out of your apartment and be able to go grab coffee or breakfast, stop on the way home, grab something for dinner that night, at the grocery store. Charlotte doesn't offer that. So another downfall, hopefully we get a little bit more walkable in the near future. I don't really see that happening. This one's gonna be probably an unpopular opinion, the food scene in Charlotte. When we were told that, when we were telling people that we were moving to Charlotte, we kept being told, oh my gosh, the food scene there is so good. It's such a foodie city. And we were so excited because we love trying new restaurants and places. We are not seeing that. What I will say about Charlotte is it has whatever you want. You want Vietnamese, you've got it. You want Peruvian food, you've got it. You want Indian food, it's there. You want Charlotte, North Carolina in general is known for its barbecue. So we do have a ton of barbecue places, but they're not gonna blow your socks off. We've been here 8 years and we still are struggling to find our favorite go-to places here in Charlotte. We have a couple, Moosehead Grill is one of our favorites for their wings, but overall, we just don't have our go-to places that we consistently go back to, or that whenever someone out of town recommends, like, oh, where can you go get the best dinner? We don't have that place, like you've got to go check this out. So depends on, I guess, your past food experience. If you don't have a lot of options where you currently are, you have a ton of options in Charlotte. A lot of the restaurants that are opening, they're very good at sticking to a trend. You will find that all the restaurants here in Charlotte are visually very appealing and exciting to go in. The food just might not blow your socks off. Another thing that I didn't expect, especially being from Florida, is the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes in Charlotte are terrible. I know it's a small detail, but I am that person that when I'm in a group of people, everyone else is like not feeling the bugs and I'm covered in mosquito bites. So for me, I do hate it. I was surprised by this when I moved here. I remember in Florida, we would have the big mosquito trucks that would come by and they would spray for you. It was covered by the city or the county, depending where you were at. Here, they do not have any publicly funded pest control. So it is on the homeowners or your apartment complex or whatever that is to go ahead and hire that privately out. But the mosquitoes here are pretty bad in the summer, so just be prepared for that. Overall, Charlotte has way more pros than it does cons. It is a great city to live in. I always find it very easy. That is my best way to sum it up, is Charlotte is very easy. No matter what you want, it's here. The people here are amazing. You can always find something to do. There's always ways to get involved in the city or your community. So I still love Charlotte, even with its cons. Of course, like any larger city or any place you live, there are going to be things that you dislike about it, whether it's a personal opinion or a strong known public opinion. But I hope these videos were helpful. If you have any other questions, or if you have some towns, or you have your own perspectives or a positive or a negative about Charlotte that you'd like to share, post it below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, if you're looking to make a move to the Queen City, my team and I would love to help you. So send us a text message, give us a call. We can't wait to connect.